Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more detailed videos. Britt's return to Port Charles is shaking things up in ways nobody could have fully predicted, and the buzz around her reappearance has fans on edge, waiting to see how each relationship, rivalry, and hidden feeling will play out. Her presence instantly brings old tensions to the surface, and it's clear that Port Charles will never be quite the same again now that she's back. Every look she shares, every sly comment, every complicated encounter signals that her story is only beginning, and the ripples of her actions will spread through the lives of nearly everyone connected to her. From the moment Britt sets foot back in town, eyes turn her way. Some welcome her with cautious smiles, others with outright suspicion, and a few with a spark of something much deeper than casual recognition. She has that effect on people, commanding attention, stirring up emotions, and making others question where they stand. And it doesn't take long for the old rivalries she left behind to flare back up, fueled by unresolved grudges, bruised egos, and wounds that time hasn't quite healed. Britt is stepping back into a storm, but if history has taught us anything, it's that she thrives in chaos. For instance, her history with Elizabeth Weber is still a raw point. These two have clashed before, often circling the same men, the same professional turf, and even the same moral high ground that neither of them can quite surrender. Elizabeth's steady sense of right and wrong has always made her suspicious of Britt's motives, and now, with Britt's return, those old sparks of animosity are flickering back to life. Imagine them crossing paths at General Hospital, Elizabeth working diligently, Britt walking in with that mix of confidence and smirk, and the tension hanging so thick you could cut it with a scalpel. Their exchanges may start polite, but there's no mistaking the rivalry underneath, one that could escalate quickly, especially if their paths overlap romantically again. And speaking of romance, Britt's return naturally stirs up memories of her complicated relationship with Jason Morgan. Jason is gone now, leaving behind a legacy and a void that still weighs heavy on Port Charles, but Britt's return forces everyone to revisit those chapters. She was one of the few people who got to see Jason's softer side, the part of him that could connect and even be vulnerable. Her feelings for him were real, and though time has passed, stepping back into a town still haunted by Jason's absence is bound to open up old wounds. Every corner she turns could remind her of what she lost, and every conversation with those who loved Jason could spark old pain, or even new resentment. The sparks of old feelings are there, even if they're tangled with grief and regret. Another layer to Britt's story is her fraught history with Carly Spencer. Carly has never been one to let old grudges slide, and her protective instincts, especially when it comes to family, friends, and Jason's memory, put her at odds with Britt more often than not. Now that Britt is back, Carly may see her as an interloper, someone dredging up pieces of the past Carly would rather control. Imagine Carly spotting Britt at the Metro Court, each woman standing her ground, their barbed words laced with years of rivalry and pride. Neither of them backs down easily, so viewers can expect fireworks every time these two cross paths. Britt knows how to push Carly's buttons, and Carly knows exactly where Britt's vulnerabilities lie. With Carly also dealing with her own complicated romantic entanglements and her role as matriarch, Britt's return could be one more powder keg ready to blow. Then there's Britt's medical background and her reputation as a skilled but often controversial doctor. Her return to General Hospital could ruffle feathers among the staff, many of whom remember her checkered past. But Britt has grown since those days, at least in some ways, and she may be determined to prove she belongs in the hospital again. Still, not everyone will be willing to forgive and forget. Epiphany's absence leaves a void in the hospital dynamic, but that doesn't mean other staff members won't be quick to challenge Britt's authority or question her motives. Every decision she makes as a doctor will be scrutinized, every success overshadowed by whispers of her past mistakes. And if Britt slips up even slightly, rivals like Elizabeth, or even Finn, will be ready to pounce. Romantically, there's also room for unexpected sparks. Britt has a way of connecting with men who straddle the line between light and dark, those with complicated pasts and guarded hearts. Without Jason, the field is wide open, and Port Charles is never short on complex men. Could sparks fly again with someone like Nicholas Cassadine? Their history is tangled, But the Cassadines always have a way of being drawn back into Britt's orbit, especially given her past with Nicholas and her understanding of his darker tendencies. If Nicholas resurfaces in her storyline, expect passion, betrayal, and a dangerous mix of attraction and rivalry. And then there's the potential for Britt to clash with Ava Jerome. Ava doesn't forgive easily, and her protective streak, especially where her daughter Avery is concerned, makes her a formidable opponent. Britt may not set out to target Ava, but if their worlds collide, whether through Nicholas, the hospital, or simple circumstance, viewers can bet their exchanges will be cutting, laced with double meanings and veiled threats. Ava and Britt both know how to weaponize charm, and watching them go head-to-head could be one of the juiciest rivalries of this return. Of course, no return to Port Charles would be complete without the shadow of family legacy. Britt's connection to Caesar Faison still hangs over her, no matter how much she tries to carve her own path. The sins of the father aren't easily forgotten in a town where history is everything, and whispers of her lineage will undoubtedly follow her. This makes some people wary of trusting her, and it makes others eager to use her name against her. For Britt, it's a constant struggle. She wants to prove she's more than her father's daughter, yet she can't fully escape the reputation his crimes left behind. This constant tug-of-war adds depth to every decision she makes, every alliance she forms, and every rivalry she reignites. Another element to watch is Britt's friendship with Brad Cooper. Their bond is one of the few genuine connections Britt has, and Brad's role as her confidant and occasional partner in crime gives her story added humor and heart. Together, they've weathered plenty of storms, and with Britt back in town, fans can expect more of their witty banter, heartfelt conversations, and questionable schemes. Brad often serves as Britt's mirror, reminding her of both her flaws and her potential, and their dynamic adds levity to the darker undertones of her storyline. But even that friendship could face challenges if Brad is pulled into other Port Charles drama, or if his loyalty to Britt clashes with his other ties and rivalries. Britt's return also signals fresh storylines waiting to unfold. Her presence could intersect with Sonny Corinthos' world, especially if Britt finds herself caught up in mob-related fallout. While Britt isn't directly tied to Sonny, her return puts her in proximity to those who are, and in Port Charles, proximity is often all it takes for sparks to ignite. If Britt crosses paths with Sonny, there's potential for unexpected alliances or explosive clashes, depending on how their goals align. And let's not forget the possibility of Britt's return colliding with the younger generation of Port Charles. Characters like Jocelyn Jacks, Trina Robinson, and Spencer Cassadine are carving out their own stories, but Britt's history with their families could tie her back into their orbit. Imagine Jocelyn facing off with Britt over Jason's memory, or Spencer watching his father Nicholas rekindle old flames with Britt. These generational crossovers keep the drama fresh, as younger characters inherit the grudges and alliances of their parents. What makes Britt's return particularly exciting is the unpredictability. She's not a character who fits neatly into boxes. She's capable of kindness and cruelty, vulnerability and manipulation, love and betrayal. That complexity makes every scene with her compelling because you never quite know what her next move will be. One moment, she could be pouring her heart out, revealing the depth of her pain over Jason's loss. The next, she could be scheming, maneuvering herself into a position of power at the hospital, or undermining someone she sees as a threat. That unpredictability is Britt's greatest weapon, and the reason her return is sparking so much anticipation. The question now is how long she'll stay, and what damage or healing she'll leave in her wake. Old rivalries are already reigniting, and those tensions promise explosive showdowns. Old feelings, whether grief over Jason or attraction to former lovers, are bubbling to the surface, reminding viewers that Britt's story is rooted in both passion and pain. And new drama is on the horizon, waiting for Britt to step into it, whether by choice or by fate. As the weeks unfold, Britt's presence will ripple across Port Charles. Every encounter, every argument, every lingering glance will carry the weight of history and the promise of new beginnings. She is, at her core, a character who brings drama wherever she goes, and her return is setting the stage for some of the most compelling, emotional, and explosive storylines General Hospital has to offer. Whether she's reigniting rivalries with Elizabeth and Carly, sparking old feelings tied to Jason's memory, exploring new romantic entanglements, or clashing with power players like Ava and Sunny. Britt is back in the center of the storm. And if history has shown us anything, it's that the storm is exactly where she belongs. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel for all of your updates.